Last time we discussed about mechanism of action of glucocorticoids, and now we'll discuss about anti-inflammatory effects of glucocorticoids on different aspects of inflammation. First phase of inflammation is called alarm phase or vascular phase. During this phase, body detects pathogen molecules or signals of cell damage, and these signals then result in production of inflammatory mediators, and these mediators then result in vasodilation and increased vascular permeability. Second phase is called mobilization phase or cellular phase. During this phase, inflammatory cells like neutrophils reach and infiltrate site of inflammation. Third phase is resolution phase, that is anti-inflammatory phase. Resolution phase is active process that limits spread of inflammation, clear any debris and dead cells, and start process of tissue repair. Now let's discuss each phase of inflammation and see how glucocorticoids affect each phase. In alarm phase, cell surface receptors like toll-like receptors on macrophages and dendritic cells detect pathogen molecules and other signals of cell damage. These receptors then send downstream signals that result in activation of transcription factors like NF-kappa B. These transcription factors then increase transcription of pro-inflammatory genes, and that result in production of inflammatory mediators like prostaglandins, leukotrienes, and cytokines. Some of these mediators then result in vasodilation and increased vascular permeability. Histamine is also mediator of alarm phase. However, histamine is present preformed. Now let's see how some of these mediators are produced and how glucocorticoids affect their production. Signals and mediators that start inflammation result in activation of phospholipase A2 enzyme. And this enzyme then breaks down membrane phospholipids and result in production of arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid is then metabolized by two pathways. In first pathway, cyclooxygenase enzyme or COX-2 enzyme result in production of prostaglandins. And in second pathway, lipoxygenase enzyme result in production of leukotrienes and lipoxins. Prostaglandins and leukotrienes then result in vasodilation and increased vascular permeability. And vasodilation and increased vascular permeability result in redness and swelling at site of inflammation. Now let's see effects of glucocorticoids on this process. Glucocorticoids increase transcription of lipocortin gene, and this increases levels of lipocortin, and lipocortin inhibits phospholipase A2 enzyme, and this decreases production of arachidonic acid, and low levels of arachidonic acid affect both cyclooxygenase and lipoxygenase pathways. Cyclooxygenase pathway is further inhibited as glucocorticoids decrease transcription of this enzyme, and that results in decreased levels of cyclooxygenase enzyme. Glucocorticoids do not directly inhibit lipoxygenase enzyme. However, this pathway is also affected due to low levels of arachidonic acid. Glucocorticoids also have their anti-inflammatory effects by inhibition of transcription factors like NF-kappa B. NF-kappa B is activated by signals from cell surface receptor like toll-like receptor. And NF-kappa B is one of main regulator of inflammatory response. Activation of NF-kappa B increase production of cytokines, chemokines, cell adhesion molecules, and inflammatory enzymes like cyclooxygenase. So inhibition of this transcription factor can have significant anti-inflammatory effects. And one of main mechanisms by which glucocorticoids exert their anti-inflammatory effect is by inhibition of this transcription factor. So in alarm phase, glucocorticoids inhibit transcription factors and inhibit production of mediators like prostaglandins and leukotrienes. Another effect of glucocorticoids in alarm phase is their effects on blood vessels. Glucocorticoids increase sensitivity of blood vessels to vasoconstrictors like catecholamines, and glucocorticoids upregulate tight junctions between adjacent endothelial cells. And these actions contract vasodilation and increase vascular permeability associated with inflammatory response. Overall, these effects decrease redness and swelling associated with vascular phase. In this section, we discussed about effects of glucocorticoids on alarm phase or vascular phase of inflammation. And in next section, we'll discuss about effects of glucocorticoids on cellular phase.